Hey friends, Pastor Bill Walden here. Hope you're doing well. I have some thoughts for you from Matthew chapter 10 when Jesus sent out the 12 disciples on their first missionary journey. It says in Matthew chapter 10 verse 1, when he had called his 12 disciples to him, he gave them power over unclean spirits to cast them out and to heal all kinds of sickness and all kinds of disease. So that must have been extremely exciting for the disciples to hear that Jesus was giving them that power. It says down in verse 5, these 12 Jesus sent out and commanded them, saying, do not go into the way of the Gentiles, or do not enter a city of the Samaritans, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. As you go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out demons. Freely you have received, freely give. Jesus would go on to say basically this, that everything that you need will be provided for you. But then he changed during this discourse an explanation of their missionary instructions. He told them persecutions are going to come. They're going to despise you. They're going to take you to court. They're going to imprison you. And he began to tell them all kinds of very difficult things before he sent them out. After they came back, they said, Lord, we rejoice the demons were subject to us, and the power of God's kingdom went out. They said nothing of the warnings that Jesus had told them about, because none of those things happened on their first missionary trip. Now here's where we connect the dots. Jesus kind of told them the exciting and good news, and then he followed it up with some stern warnings. And I have to think that he's explaining to them that following me is going to be very challenging and not always an easy or enjoyable thing. It's always going to be a good thing, but it's not always going to be easy. There's going to be difficulties. Now, Jesus was really, as it turns out, was prophesying about what would happen in the future. It didn't happen on this trip. But I wonder, and this is kind of my question for us to consider, I wonder if he's testing their commitment right from the very beginning. He's saying, these are the things that you're going to have to face. They didn't face it on this first missionary journey. None of those undesirable things, none of those hard things came to pass. But I have to think that Jesus was testing them from the very beginning and having them dig deep into their own hearts and asking themselves, am I willing to follow Jesus? Do I really want to do this? There's some exciting news about it. There's an exciting part about it. He's given us power. He's sending us out. He's trusting us. But there's going to be opposition. Am I willing to do that? And then, as it turns out, none of the opposition happened. But it would. As we know from history, apart from Judas, who took his own life, of the remaining 11 apostles, 10 of them were martyred. And then John, they tried to kill John. God kept him alive miraculously, and he died of old age. But those things did come to pass. But at the beginning, from the beginning, Jesus was warning them. How does that apply to us? Okay, this is what I think. Understand that following Jesus is both glorious and difficult. It's both wonderful and challenging. And though we are not challenged all of the time, and though we don't feel opposition all of the time, we will. And so I think it's just very interesting here how Jesus commissioned them, gave them the exciting news, gave them the stern warning, and though none of it came to pass, it would come to pass. So don't be discouraged if you're seeking to serve God and there are people who oppose you or situations that are in opposition to you. Don't be discouraged by that. We should expect those kinds of things. Not that we're doomsday seekers or anything like that, but Jesus just simply said there would be opposition. To the contrary, if you're serving the Lord, and maybe early on in your Christian life, you're serving God and there's no opposition, well, that's fantastic. But don't be under the illusion that it's never going to come. Eventually it will come. Jesus said that that's the case. So as you seek to follow Jesus, be encouraged. Allow your heart to be tested. Test your own commitment of faith. And then whatever you do, just keep following Jesus. So thanks for watching. Hope you're encouraged. God bless you. Bye-bye.